Hey, this is Breeze Harper of the Sistah Vegan Project, and I have some exciting news. First of all, thank you so much for those of you who have donated $2,330 toward my $80,000 goal for the Sistah Vegan Project to be turned into an official nonprofit organization. So thank you very much. Over the past 30 days, that type of support has really encouraged me to keep on going with the work. Secondly, I have some really awesome news for you guys. So yes, the Sistah Vegan Conference is on, okay? 2013, September 14th, 2013. Mark your calendars. If you have access to a computer, you can attend. Now, how's that possible? I've decided actually right now we don't have the funds to have a physical location for the Sistah Vegan Conference, but that is not going to deter me from doing what I think we need to do, which is to have this function happen. So we're going to use the awesome technology of webinar, conferencing, all that awesome stuff through anymeeting.com. So what that means is that you don't have to jump on a plane, a train, whatever, to get to this conference and spend lots of money and, tax the environment with, the pollution that airplanes can cause when we travel lots of conferences. You can stay right at your house or at a library, wherever you have that internet connection, and participate. So September 14th, that's a Saturday. I'm hoping that works out for most people because most people don't actually have to work on Saturdays. For those of you that cannot attend, don't worry. The entire conference will be video recorded and people's PowerPoint presentations will be uploaded and that will be accessible, okay, after the conference. Awesome, I think that's great. So what I'm also excited about is that hopefully 5 or 6 of the people that I sent invitations to keynote can participate. So what this means is that we're going to hear about topics that I don't normally get to hear about when I attend conferences based on food justice or animal compassion. So the theme this year has not been determined, but that's okay. Just mark your calendars. But I did send an invitation to, I won't name names yet until it's final, but to a woman of African descent who is looking at PETA for her dissertation work and really looking at how images of white women are being used to project a particular type of social justice that she feels really just reinforces, white heteronormative, able-bodied norms around what is a healthy body, what is a socially just body, and how that's connected to veganism. I've also invited a speaker who will talk about veganism, but from an indigenous point of view and also from a womb ecology point of view. So looking at what it looks like to create a vegan philosophy, but not from a Eurocentric point of view, but from her own cultural background, indigenous point of view, and decolonizing food and decolonizing the body and what that looks like. In addition, her work is awesome because she's looking at, as a PhD candidate, she's looking at this concept of womb ecology and how a woman can potentially adjust her child's palate while the child is in utero, So, what does it mean if you're eating particular foods, if you try to start decolonizing your palate and your child's palate while you're pregnant with this child, and what whole foods veganism can say about that. So I think that's pretty exciting. And then we also will look at critical perspectives on Afrocentric veganism, the African holistic health community by yours truly. I love what the African holistic health has done for me. The community has done for me in terms of the recipes and really getting me to understand what happens when I put particular foods in my body and how that may or may not perpetuate suffering and illness in me. But I also do want to take a look at a lot of the rhetoric that does propose that eating particular foods makes you not straight, not gender conforming. I'm also looking at what it means for a lot of the rhetoric to be very ableist, where there's this fear around if you don't eat a certain way, then you will be disabled, you'll be crippled, you'll be handicapped. So kind of looking at that rhetoric, appreciating African holistic health, but also problematizing it. So I want to bring that into the mix. A lot of the mainstream places that I go to even look at or observe talk about veganism or animal compassion that is not brought in. The Afrocentric perspective is never brought in. And what I find interesting about the African holistic health community, for instance, which I'll talk about, is that when people of African descent, who are gurus, tell other people of African descent, you should not be eating animals because it makes you sick, because it's dirty, because it will putrefy your system, there doesn't seem to be a connection to, well, maybe also animals suffer deeply. And that is actually wrong to have a non-human animal be consumed and all the suffering that goes into that. You know, why is that actually missing from the logic behind Afrocentric veganism? So I find that awesome, and I want to talk more about that, and you'll hear me talk about that for the conference. And lastly, what I also want to do is give a talk about, you know, how we, as women of color and allies who are struggling with racism, structural racism, sexism, how we can take care of ourselves better, the self-care. So I'll be offering a quick webinar, workshop, recipes for racial tension headaches. So, you know, what happens when I come home after a day of just dealing with racism or other isms, but, you know, primarily I'll be focusing on racism. And I'm just so stressed out. I'm just so stressed out. What do I do, you know? And a lot of us grab for those comfort foods that are not necessarily going to help us cope with that physical and mental stress. So I'm going to intertwine storytelling, probably critical narrative, you know, storytelling, and talking about these little instances of, you know, the day that when this happened, I ate this instead of that. And then offering alternative recipes, such as, you know, a kale smoothie, why that helps with dealing with such stresses of racist microaggressions, or, you know, why oat straw tea high in selenium is really great for combating those particular stresses and relaxing the body. So as you can see, I'm excited about this. And for this to happen, along with the other goals, if you click on the link on the GoFundMe campaign or my Sistah Vegan blog, you'll see more extensively why we need to be funded, because I have a lot more projects and a lot more goals that we need to meet to make this an awesome, fully functional organization. So click on that and you'll see why I'm excited and why I need your help for support. I have about 3,500 followers, and if people could just make $5 a month, a reoccurring donation for the next year, because my campaign, I'm hoping that July 14th I'll meet what I want to do for my goal, which is $80,000. If people could just do the $5 reoccurring campaign, if 3,500 subscribers could do that, we would easily make our goal in time. So I'm asking you to consider that. You know, if you can even spare the $5, that would be greatly appreciated, or more. So let me know, and if you have more questions, feel free to email me at sistahvegan@gmail.com, or you can just post something on my blog. Okay?